What's up, everybody? We had to come on live tonight after this revolution. It just ended a couple of minutes ago. It's me, the OG Fit Kid, Thomas Montalto. Right now, I got this guy from Extra Cooler Show joining us, Matt. Mike's going to be jumping in a little bit. Who knows who else is going to show up? Fun pay-per-view. What are your thoughts, Matt? Let's get right into it.
An AEW pay-per-view is always worth the money. And
That's what I say. I
they
say
they proved it again.
anytime, it doesn't matter what the buildup is, how bad it is. When you pay the
Mediocre.
$50, yeah, I agree. When you pay the $50 for the pay-per-view, you know it's going to be a great show from bell to bell, and this one did not disappoint again. Um, let's. What was your favorite match of the night?
Oof. Uh man, so you got to be partial to the trios titles, right? Cuz
Yeah,
everyone
loved it.
especially within the Turnbuckle Tavern community has been so anxious and so ready for the House of Black victory that we got tonight. But I don't know, man. The Texas Death Match may have taken number one. The six
Wow.
the 60-minute Iron Man match could have taken number one, but it's one of those three. One of those three.
Let me tell you a little thing about that Texas Death Match, and this is what I found the most amazing because I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a great match. My wife, who can't stand that stuff, could not turn away from watching it. To me,
And
that says a lot.
it was
Like,
captivating.
she
It
like
sure
closed her
was.
eyes a few times, but she could not stop. Usually, she'll walk away from it because she loves Mox and she loves Hangman, and she just couldn't. And she loved the match. Like I couldn't believe that she just stood there and kept watching it. So easily, House of Black was elite. House of Black was easily the match. I love that match, man. I just hope that House of Black doesn't fall into that AEW pattern of we win the titles now we disappear. But I mean, I think for them, they've been disappeared for so long. Maybe they'll work backwards for them. They win the title, so maybe they'll get TV time now, or so I hope. But I thought that was a fantastic match. It made me, and in the text I saw, you said the same thing. I really want to see Kenny Omega get some single matches. I want to see him fight
Hey,
Malachi. I want to see him fight Buddy Matthews.
I
Like,
man,
oof.
we were texting during it, and I was in the Chick Foley the Facebook group chat saying the same exact thing, and on the Extra Cooler Discord. I kind of was trying to spread myself out throughout tonight, but man, if this trios match didn't leave you wanting a Kenny Omega Malachi Black singles program, oh man, check your pulse, baby, check your pulse.
Dude, every time I see Kenny Omega fight now, especially in these trios, I'm like, can you stop tagging and go back to singles, please?
Amen,
I,
amen.
I, I feel like he's being wasted. I mean, hopefully that's over now. Maybe Malachi him in some singles matches. I would love that. Please give me that. I think Buddy Matthews and him would blow it off the charts. I think it would be Kenny Omega's so good to be wasted in trios.
You so I don't feel like it's a wasted in trios for Kenny, and I understand what they're doing and why they're doing it, and like taking the spotlight away from like a specific Kenny, Japan Kenny kind of way. I don't know. Have you listened to Kenny on the Renee Paquette podcast this past week?
I'm about halfway through it. I did
It
start listening to it.
it was really good, and hearing
Yeah.
his take on kind of where he is in the card and what he's doing, it made me feel a little bit better. But seriously though, at halfway through this match, I just couldn't stop thinking about the Kenny Malachi singles program with
Yeah.
fill in the blank. He can face Brody, he can face Buddy, he can go through the whole entire House of Black. But man, it was so good. It was so good. Just
Really?
maybe it made me want more.
Oh my god. I could watch these guys fight all day long, every day. Like, that was one of the matches, probably the match I was looking forward to the most on a card. And it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. You just watch Malachi in this match, and we haven't seen him wrestle much lately. He's so good. He's
But
so freaking good.
but it wasn't even like he was the focal point. There
No,
was no focal point if you really
right?
think about it. Like the match itself, tremendous. Don't get me wrong, but there was no like singular focus in the match, and it was purely like let's follow the championships. Let's make sure we get to where we need to go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see where it goes from here. I love House of Black. I love Kenny Omega. There's the Young Bucks, which I enjoy their work, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Young Bucks. But let's talk about the 60-minute Iron Man match, dude. Holy smokes. I said to you, I think I said this to you. I said this to many people. I said, I think by the end of that match, we're all going to be like, wow. Like, and we were wow. Like, that match was one of the best Iron Man matches I've ever seen. It delivered on every level. I love the fact that we got a bunch of falls before the end. Usually there's 0-0 or like 1-0 up until the end. I love the way it built up. I love MJF getting himself disqualified for the 1 fall and jumping on Danielson for the 2 falls. Like I love the match. I love the match up until I love the ending. I can't even say I hated the ending. Like I legit was thinking Danielson had a shot to win this thing. And thinking going in, I think MJF's going to win. I was pretty sure MJF was going to win. But then by the end, he's like, "Oh shit, Danielson could really do this." Like they one of the ways they book their matches here. A lot of times you think a guy doesn't have a shot. By the end of the match, you're thinking, "Oh my god, he has a shot," and then he loses. What'd you think?
So the inevitable felt for real that MJF was coming out of this no matter what, right? And even halfway through, even 3/4 of the way through, but I will have to admit, I'm going to get a cheap plug in here. Right before this match comes on, FTR returns wearing an extra cooler designed t-shirt on television. I am marking the fuck out, and honestly, I was so distracted for the first 15 minutes of the card that I was very thankful that nothing really happened within the first 15 minutes of this match, and they didn't even flash the timer or the countdown until 15 minutes into the card, which is finally when I started to like pay attention to what was going on. But no, for real, the match was a banger. It was really awesome to watch. I feel like it did what you expected, right? Like if you were to come into the end and say, they're going to come in, time's going to expire and they're going to be tied, I feel like everyone would have been like, yeah, I can see where that's going to go. But they did it in a creative way. But I truly did not expect the end to be Danielson tapping out. I just didn't expect it.
Yeah, I mean, especially when they did first of all, I love they brought back the 3-arm drop thing because we haven't seen that in forever. I think that's been missing in wrestling. But when they go for the third one and he holds his hand up, we all believe. And then the fact that he starts tapping out after that, like, I think that made it even more awesome. Like, just something about that storytelling, thinking, okay, this is going to be it. And then they get us by having him tap. Like, I love that. I love that ending. And I do you think Danielson should get a world title run eventually?
I feel like you can go through without it.
Okay.
I mean, if they were to give the strap and put it on him tomorrow, would I be upset? Absolutely not. Do I think it's necessary? Probably not. And I think that he can just be Brian Danielson, the greatest wrestler in the world, and still continue to be what he is and still be important to AEW television in every step of the way. I'm more interested in, do we see Danielson show up in Ring of Honor at all?
Wow. I mean, I know the new show started this week. I haven't seen it yet. Man, I really hope they separate the rosters between AEW and Ring of Honor a little bit. Have some guys exclusive. Some crossovers are fine once in a while. I don't want it to be an ongoing, continuous thing. With how stacked the AEW roster is, I think it would help both shows if they just separate it. But let's talk about that. You just mentioned FTR. They get a huge pop, but we get a fatal 4-way match. No way in the world did I expect the Guns to come out victorious in this match. I thought it was the time for the Acclaimed to get the titles back, and that doesn't happen. First of all, this is the best I've ever seen Danhausen look in the ring. The guy impressed me tonight working. He doesn't usually get the time. First of all, I went off of this on the wrap-up show the other night. What the hell were they even doing in the match? I hated the fact that somehow Orange Cassidy and Danhausen got shoehorned into this match. I felt like it was just a thing to get them on the card. They did not belong there. It should have been the Acclaimed versus the Ass Boys, the Gun Club. That's what the match should have been tonight. I hate shoehorning people in just for the sake of getting more people on a pay-per-view. And that's exactly what it felt like to me, adding Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and Danhausen and Orange Cassidy. I think it actually makes the card better if it would have just been the Ass Boys versus the Acclaimed. But anyway, the match was fine. It wasn't a great match. It was a typical 4-way tag team match. What did you think?
Do you want to know the truth?
Yeah.
The Wardlow match, Samoa Joe right before this, and this fatal 4-way, whatever AEW calls it, I was completely checked out. Like we got out of the Texas Death Match where I was fully locked in, fully engaged, and then I looked at my watch and it was 10 o'clock by this point, right? Maybe. And I went, crap, we have 2 matches that I totally forgot were actually going to happen on this card. And then we have a 60-minute Iron Man match. I went upstairs. I refilled my beers. I refilled and I made food for myself, and I came back down. I missed the entire, well, I didn't miss it. I was watching it on my phone as I was doing all these things upstairs. And then I came back down halfway through the tag match. I was completely checked out by this point, and maybe that makes me a bad fan, but in the same breath, like, that's how much I cared about this fatal 4-way. And
exactly.
I didn't really give a shit until FTR comes out, and I'm marking out for my best friend because he designed the t-shirt that they're in.
We got Nick Storm in here. What's up, Nick? Austin saying also the Jungle Boy and Christian Cage match was we texted about that. We'll talk about that in a second. Listen, would the match have meant more to you, and would you have found more interest if it was just the Acclaim versus the Ass Boys?
Oh man, you wanted me to join earlier this week on the wrap up show, and I couldn't. I was away this week traveling, so I wasn't fully engaged. But no, it wouldn't have mattered. It really wouldn't have mattered to me. I feel like this was an afterthought. No matter who was in the match, no matter where we were on the card, it just felt like an afterthought to me. I don't think it mattered.
Okay, I think it would have meant more if it was just a regular Acclaim versus the Gun Club.
However, would the build have been a little bit better? Sure. Would I have given a shit a little bit more? Maybe. But at the end of the day, like, in the spot they were in, them and Samoa Joe, I'm going to stick by that of, like, they were screwed no matter what because of the spot they were in. And I just personally was like, getting to the last quarter, last third of this pay-per-view, I'm good.
I get it. Here, let's bring in somebody who just joined the chat, who just popped in. Let's see what he's got to say.
You owe everyone an apology. You owe me an apology.
I hate it. I hate all of it. I fucking hate this pay-per-view. Jokes, only jokes. I thought it was fun. It was good. It was a fun time. I didn't think it was bad.
We were just talking about the Fatal 4-Way tag team match.
That was the shits.
That's one way to describe it. Would you? I was asking, Matt this, and I'm sure you feel the same way. Would you have felt better and more interested in this match if it was a straight up the Acclaim versus the Gun Club? Oh, we lost you. Where's your voice?
He's collecting his thoughts. That's what's happening right now.
Because
he knows he wants to agree with me.
Wait, are you joking now? Or do you really not have a voice?
Womp, womp, womp.
Come on, you had the voice when you first got here. Do you know sign language? Can you sign for us? Oh boy, BELCASTER lost his voice again. I wish I could do a Joe Rogan impersonation here. I'd be doing it for Mike.
Hello?
There you go.
I don't have my cool background effect on, but we're good.
Okay.
Where are we?
So what did you like? Would you have had a more interest in this match if it had been straight up the Acclaim versus the Gun Club?
Maybe.
Okay.
I didn't need to see Jeff Jarrett or Jay Lethal there.
Yeah, it lost it for me being a fatal 4-way with two teams that aren't really even competitors.
I was okay with Danhausen and Orange Cassidy though.
But
they were shoehorned.
I don't know.
They were shoehorned in. Listen, I thought Danhausen looked the best I've ever seen him look in a ring. He got time.
Who
cares? He looked great.
Yeah, who
So,
cares? No,
no.
I'm with Matt on this. Who
I
gives a
don't
fuck?
disagree with you. I didn't care at all. The part that popped me was FTR coming out. That's when this match gained my interest. When that
I
music
told you.
hits, that friggin' pop is amazing. And I cannot wait to see them destroy the Gun Club. I can't wait for that match.
I told you.
You did.
I did.
You
I told you.
100% called it.
Like,
I give you props. You 100% called it.
they should have
And
been.
if you
They
look
should have
on,
been there last week at Dynamite, but it's
yeah.
okay that they weren't because they were here tonight.
Well, I think it made the moment special tonight. PW Insider reported tonight AEW is FTR is back, and it's believed they have signed a new long-term deal and they're locked in at AEW.
I'm
So-
glad Excalibur is still making the dirt sheets.
Why would he say?
PW Insider reports that FTR is back in full floor.
So I liked it, and I agree. Let's Samoa Joe versus Wardlow. Ugh,
Shit.
it just yeah.
Lose-lose scenario. You can't go on after the Texas death match and anyone give a shit. They just
No.
period, end of story. They were in the they pulled the short straw of the evening.
Yeah.
And they were screwed. It was done.
It was hard enough to go on before the Texas Death Match and
Right.
people to give a shit.
I don't know, man. Like it's something about Wardlow without the ponytail. I'm out. I'm out.
I don't know. I was
He
going
just
to
looks
say
like
the
a
same
dude.
thing, but Peter Avalon looks amazing without the long hair.
But everybody's different.
Well, that's true too. But
Wardlow
maybe-
without the ponytail is like, who cares? I don't know why the ponytail makes such a difference, but it does.
he's
But it
over.
The women's match, we got the Ruby Soho turn that we all thought was coming.
I've seen it.
Predictable, but I enjoyed it.
Was it predictable? Everybody else thought it wasn't predictable.
I thought she was joining them the whole time.
I thought she was joining them like last week.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought she was joining them, but I thought she was gonna. I think you called it, Mike. I think you said this last week. Somebody told me this last week that she was gonna help Saraya win, but
I've seen it.
Jake the Snake is making an appearance.
He knows what's up.
The Coliseum Collection, Jake the Snake Roberts. If you haven't seen Mike's big photography from that, go check out his Instagram.
It's full of, hey, I'm Jake the Snake. It's a Hall of Fame bomb. Yeah,
And-
no,
any- oh, go ahead.
I thought the girls were going to go long. I thought they were going to go hard, and I had a feeling it was going to go the way it did.
Yeah, I think it was pretty predictable. What did you like the match, Matt? What do you think?
It felt short and inconsequential. It just felt like it needed more
Something.
something.
And you had
Something.
3 workers in the ring. If you would have given them the time, I think they could have put on a.
I felt like I was watching the match and then I blinked and all of a sudden we were at the finish and Ruby was sitting in the corner like, all right, here we go. Here comes the real story.
I was just gonna say that. That's when it felt like the real stuff started after the match when she turned. Like I agreed. Like the match was just to get to that point. It felt like.
It was all right.
But the match wasn't even long enough to be like, all right, cool. We told a good story and we got to where we needed to go.
Exactly.
It just felt like it was like fast forward button, good play.
Yeah. So true. Anything else you loved, Matt, or you hated?
Hey, I mean, we haven't really dove into the death match if you wanted to go there because
Let's go there.
I mean,
It was okay.
loved is a bit much for where this match went, but that's only because am I going to bury myself on a Turnbuckle Tavern session? I sure as hell will. I am not a Ricky Starks guy, which we have learned in the past, and I'm not in love with Hangman here either, and I was surprised by the finish of the match in the way that it happened. Would I have been surprised by a Hangman victory? Absolutely not. In the way that it happened? Absolutely.
Real. See, I texted this with you, and I've told Mike this. I think I've said it on air. I've fallen off of the Hangman bandwagon. Since he was the champion, they've just kind of lost. He's lost something to me. He's not enjoyable. Like him fighting for the gold was a better Hangman. That being said, I enjoyed what I saw out of him tonight, and I actually liked the ending. I didn't mind the ending at all. I thought it was a different ending.
No, I didn't say it was bad or good. I just said I was surprised by it. And watching Mox tap out was something I never would have expected. Sure, was it brutal? Absolutely. would I have expected? When I have sat here in the same way that the Iron Man match went down, would I have sat here and said this is what the finish is going to be? There's never in a million years would I have predicted the end of the Texas Death Match nor the Iron Man match going down the way that it did.
Yeah, I thought
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I thought it was going to be less of a Dynamite match.
Yeah,
It felt like very much like something we could have seen next week and would have been like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about Moxley in his baby blue eyes with the crimson mask coming down that just looks like it's fitting for this man, and he's got the wide blues, and it's chef's kiss.
It was
looks
okay.
so good.
It wasn't terrible. It was just not anything. Like I said, it could have been on a Dynamite, and we would have been there was no takeaway from it. Like we would have been like, oh, that sucks. Like it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Mox, yeah, we're cool. I predicted Hangman winning because it just seemed fitting. Like I don't know, it was an easy pick.
You see, I picked Mox to win. I didn't think. I guess they're trying to do something with Hangman by letting him go over here and trying to build him again. Because I
Maybe.
feel like
You kind of have to, no?
Yeah, I feel like anything he had has been gone. So I guess this was their attempt at trying to build him back up.
Yeah, but he's lost so much.
I agree.
In the build up that it made it forced. You know what I mean?
So this is over, right? The two of
No,
them, Mox
probably not.
and Hangman.
You don't think
I
so?
hope it's over.
I think
Like-
it's over. I think we see Mox take a little time off now.
I sure hope so, and that's where I was headed. But what goes on with Hangman from here?
Exactly.
Where does he fit? Where does he
Nowhere.
fit? It's not MJF. That's for damn
No.
sure in my eyes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know where he goes from here.
It's,
I don't even know where MJF's going to go from here. It's going to be a hard pick. You know what I mean? Like we got if the rumors are true and FTR and Punk are coming back, I mean that leaves MJF with little wiggle room to have a good opponent, right?
man.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a program with Hangman and MJF if it's not long, and of course MJF comes out on top.
But what does that do to Hangman?
Yeah.
Why set him up for more failure?
why Roman Reigns Hangman, right?
But no. Either way, if Hangman, all right, let's hypothetical world. Hangman and MJF go head to head.
Okay.
MJF wins. Does it help Hangman? Absolutely not.
No. I agree.
Hangman wins, and he's right back into a championship program.
Much heat.
Doesn't help him either.
No.
No way does that work.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know where he could go from here that makes any sense. That would make it interesting right now.
I don't know.
Danielson. I don't know.
One of the 12 titles here.
I mean,
TNT.
where's Danielson going? I mean, you can't come back from a win like that next week.
Yeah.
No.
You got to take at least a couple days off. You know what I mean?
So, all right, let's look at Blackpool Combat Club. You've got Mox, who lost tonight, and Tom's already saying he needs to go away. Danielson lost tonight. Likely makes sense that he goes away. And then the other two are Ring of Honor bound. So you are pretty much without Blackpool Combat Club for the time being, in my eyes, on
I'm
AEW
okay with that.
television. Oh, I'm totally good with it. But like the two that lost, Mox and Danielson, just let's go on the fishing trip. Let's do what we needed to do 8, 10, 100 years ago, it feels like at this point. But like it's okay. It's okay.
Try to kidnap William Regal. Everything's gonna be all right. Like,
Kidnap
just put the blanket
William.
over him. We'll just bring him back and be like, "Huh? War games." It'll be perfect.
Cue up the Metallica in the van and just
He won't even know what hit him. It's great. But yeah, I honestly, I don't know, man. It was a weird offset for a pay-per-view, right? That's like a big pay-per-view for them because they got a whole year to plan around this. And MJF wins. I mean, yes, we got the acclaim. Where else are you going to go? I don't know.
It feels like a pivotal turning point for the company right now. It feels like
I hope so.
big moves. yeah. And we shouldn't be laughing at that. That it's true. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like it's necessary at this point too, though, because the lead up to this show, felt my favorite word right now in wrestling is inconsequential, right? So it felt super inconsequential as we're coming into this show of like, I know the pay-per-view is going to deliver. It's worth the money. It's worth the spend. I'm sitting here at, what is it, 12:30 in the morning, and we're going to talk about wrestling. I'm good with that. It's worth the money. But at the end of the day, it's got to make a turn here, and you've got to make things work for a lot of the players, if not all of the players. The only thing that's really set up from here is Ass Boys and FTR, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many question marks when you think about it. You had the Red Hot Acclaimed. What do they do now?
I mean,
Like, they're not the champions. There's so many things. Like,
but this is a good thing. This is a very good thing. It gives TK the ability to go and reset,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Dynamite will be very interesting this week to see where some of this goes. I didn't even know if I guess the only match we know now is Wardlow versus Hobbs, which I'm looking forward to that. I think that should be a fun match. I look forward to them two having a nice lengthy feud. These guys are young guys that I could see it lasting. By lengthy feud, I can see it lasting for years. Like, it'll start now, it'll continue in a year. You know, it'll be like one of those feuds. These guys are big, muscular men slapping meat. Like, people.
My big question is: did tonight set up Forbidden Door more, or did it set up Double or Nothing more? Because that's the big deal, you know. Because Forbidden Door should be right around the corner.
Well, Forbidden Door will be after Double or Nothing. That's in June.
False, yeah, true, absolutely true, yeah. But
so
like,
Double or Nothing will be in May.
I don't know.
See, and I feel like we came out of this knowing nothing.
Nothing.
I
Absolutely
agree
nothing.
with you.
This was a surprise.
This was the hard reset of let's figure it out. Like, let's F and go, right?
We have no clue.
That's where we're at.
No clue who MJF's next opponent will be. Like you said, the only thing we know is FTR will be winning the tag team championship sometime in the near future. So, I like it.
You never know.
Hey, listen. Let's talk about that real quick, because I don't know if you caught this during MJF's match. He yelled right into the camera, "I am the best in the world."
Why not?
And it made me think, what is he teasing there? This feud was promised to us when the whole brawl out happened. Is this going to pick up now? Does Punk show up this Wednesday on Dynamite? Do you think there's a chance of that, Matt?
I was surprised that it was 11:30, and we went off the air at 10:30 for Mike, but it was 11:30 for us going off the air with MJF just grabbing the title in the corner. I was expecting there to be some Gaga after the show tonight, and we didn't get anything. So
no.
If it's CM Punk, if it's somewhere else, I don't know the answer.
I don't think Adam Cole should be thrown right into that.
Dear God,
no, please no. And
Adam Cole needs to build himself back up from the bottom and prove he could be what he was in NXT, because
they're teasing his first match back, and they're like making a big deal out of his opponent. Is it just some friggin' jabroni that doesn't matter, or
it has to be,
or is it somebody that's actually going to matter?
No, I mean, how can you put Adam Cole against somebody that he's not going to just diminish? You know,
like, if you want to build him up the right way, he has to have some of those matches.
It's going to be Peter Avalon.
Exactly. Right on the same page.
Avalon.
He's got to have a couple of those matches, right, to kind of like reestablish himself as a winning guy, because before he left, he wasn't winning. He lost to Hangman. He lost to the Forbidden Door. He lost to Orange Cassidy. So.
Wet fart.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like, it's going to be interesting.
And you can argue that he was taking L's in promos with Kenny Omega telling him he doesn't matter. So
100%, especially with the outcome. I mean,
and here's the other thing: we don't really know Adam Cole, face or heel at this point. It seems like a face, right?
Irrelevant.
He left as a heel.
No, they're just putting him. I mean, is Britt a face or a heel at this point?
I feel like your Pee Wee Herman and your word of the day is irrelevant.
I'm here for it.
Is the word of the day.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see anything masterful coming from Adam Cole. I don't. The AEW's gonna hard road towards Double or Nothing.
Hey, listen, and they only have about 2 months to start building it. So
Oh, they'll kill it.
Yeah.
By this time in 2 months, we're gonna be like, oh my god, what's AEW doing? You know, it's
I'm
gonna
sure
be
the
great,
show
but-
will be great. I don't doubt that the show will be great. Again, I'll preach that all day long. No matter what leads up to a pay-per-view in AEW, it's always worth $50.
That's
So,
true.
It's always
I
worth the money. They'll always put on a solid wrestling show that you could sit down and enjoy. And half the time, like some of the pay-per-views, you didn't even need to see the build-up.
Yeah.
The one thing I loved about tonight, and I wish WWE would take a note, not having long video package in between each match helps the show flow.
Listen, man, that's something we've been clamoring for years. Huh?
Tonight felt like it was 1, 2, 3, bell ring, bam,
Match.
right into the next
Yeah.
match.
Do you like that or
Immediately.
no?
It was good.
It was good at times, but I felt like I needed a breather in the middle of it, and I feel like that's when it took away from the Samoa Joe Wardlow match.
Yeah, they should.
The Saraya
match. I created my own popcorn break because there was none given to us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's so
Sometimes
true.
you have to, though.
I'm trying to think.
And I'm not asking for some musical performance by Hardy in the middle. But,
Oh God. No. Hey, listen, a couple of video packages are okay. I don't need long ones in between every match.
No, I completely agree. And the pace was really good until it wasn't, because I needed to
Got a break. You needed a breather.
Yeah.
100%. That makes 100%. There could be 2 or 3. Like you could have a nice video package right before the main event. You know, a couple of other big matches you throw in before.
And I'm not asking for a lot. It's just like, all right, 30 seconds, because maybe the 30 seconds is actually what we got, but we needed a minute and a half just to go take a piss and come back.
Yeah,
Like, that was it.
Like they could have a commercial. They have that brand new show, their all access show. Like you'd think they'd plug that in here just to people who might not have watched Dynamite and don't know.
You got a lot. You get the video game.
You got the video game. There's shit they could have promoted.
Do a toy commercial, damn it.
There's stuff they could have done to promote that they have out there.
Do we even have a release date for the video game yet?
March
They're
31st.
saying the 31st this month.
Yeah,
because there was
It's
some
a
chatter.
little early, if you ask me. But
There was some chatter in the Extra Cooler Discord about how that was going to be the big announcement of the night. Was
it should have been. Honestly,
coming
they
in
should
and
have
giving us a
said,
release
"Hey,
date."
man, this is when the game's coming out." As much shit the game's getting, I'm looking forward to it because it's something different. You know what I mean? We've had the same 2K for fucking 20 years.
Yeah, let's
Give me a little spice, man.
Hey, listen,
I'm okay
I'm always
with that.
up for new wrestling games and trying something new.
and it's supposed to be a rewind to like No Mercy, right? Is that
Yeah,
where we're
and
at?
literally to the very, very down key mechanics where you can hold the R trigger and punch guy in the balls. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm totally okay with it. But just announce the goddamn thing. Like tell me if it's next month or next week. Like I just want to know.
Yeah, exactly. Give us an idea at this
Yeah,
point.
it can't be that hard at this
We
point.
have no clue. We just keep hearing about it, and it's been like over 2 years now since it went into development, right?
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be picking up and playing it. So I can't wait for it to come out. Any other thoughts, Matt, before we let you go?
I'm with Matt. I'm about to go too.
I'm like, quick. What were your thoughts on the Iron Man match? We didn't.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Really did. I wish they would have went more towards my booking to where it would have been a 3
I loved your booking.
and 0 build up. So like MJF comes in, gets 3 wins off the bat, and Danielson just tries to come back. The imagine the warfare if Danielson was right there at the end with 3-3 and he didn't get the fuck thing and he tapped out. It would have been awesome, right? The match, the wins in between, it was still good. It wasn't bad. I thought it was fantastic, but I don't think it was the best showcase for an Iron Man match. I thought it was really done well, though. They were great. I love Danielson. I love MJF. I think MJF was gonna win no matter what. He really did, and I felt it. I don't know.
Do you think that this did what it was supposed to do or designed to do for MJF, making him an actual wrestler and not just some sports entertainer?
He's a work rate champion. No. I think it again, it could have probably been done better. And that's what I think. Like if MJF came in and won 3 times back to back, sat there and clamored while Bryan Danielson was fucking bleeding all over the place. He's like, "Look at your champion now," like he gave that like that heat that he needs heat. He should have been
Yeah.
fucking filling that heat card tonight. That you had an hour to do it. You know, my problem was with the match is that by the time I blinked and pissed, it was already 19 minutes left, and it went by way too quick. There was no draw out. There was no, oh, look at your hero now. Like that's what it needed. It needed like that warrior-esque, I fucked your guy up, fuck you, like because that's MJF, right? That's how he should have been. And he like I spitting on him, fucking like just giving him the whole ordeal. But then Danielson kind of gets that glimmer of hope. You could have set up a whole program for the rest of the year off of it, but they didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Or you could spin it the other way, and MJF is the one that's clamoring to get back into it and has to lie, cheat, and steal to get the pins that he needs. So
Yeah. I don't know. It could have gone very well both ways. I didn't think it was bad again.
Agreed.
But I think they should have worked a little harder on booking that, because it felt like it was just like, oh, we're good. Like, all right, yeah, this is what we're gonna do, and they did it. And like by the time we got to the last 10 minutes, we knew where it was going. It was very easily called for. We didn't think I didn't think Bryan Danielson was be like, yeah, I got it. I'm gonna come back and fucking do it for Birdie. Like all that shit didn't matter. Like it was wasted promo time in the last 2 weeks. Like it should have been more one-on-one physical eye contact. Like, oh shit, life's going down. Let's go.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I don't think MJF has anything left to prove to anybody in the ring. I think he's proved what kind of a worker he is.
Then why is he champion?
Because he's a great wrestler.
Yeah, but if he's got nothing left to prove, why is he champion? He's got to prove something, right?
He deserves it. Now he put on a match like he did tonight. The match he did versus Mox to win it was a great match. He's had banger after banger on pay-per-views for the last couple of years. The worst match he's had on pay-per-view is the one versus Wardlow. That was.
Where's he go from here though? Like Kurt Angle was a banger after banger after banger, but he had purpose. MJF doesn't really have purpose right now.
We'll see what happens Wednesday, because he'll show up.
I hope so. It's not contractually obligated to. He's not going to show up.
Real quick question for you, Matt, because I know one of the things you like to pick on AEW for is not putting on the world title at the end. And this week it was what ended the show leading into the pay-per-view, which is where it should be. Did that make you feel better? Did it make the title feel more important to you?
I haven't expressed these thoughts since he was the champion. But no, it feels like this is where it should have been. Yes, 100% this is where it should have been. And it should have ended the card. We should have expected it to end the card. And thankfully it did, because if they did not go down this path, it would have been a problem. If you open the show with this, like,
oh, you can't do that.
You can't do that. It was either open or close. And if you put it in the middle, it's even more disrespectful than you make it in the front. So there was no way that you can put this anywhere else, in my personal opinion. And this hasn't been a problem since the Hangman title run, because that's really when the title itself felt inconsequential.
But again, does that lay on what they thought of Hangman and how they booked him as champion?
I mean,
I think they had more faith.
Hangman.
Yeah, I can't say how they booked Hangman, but I think they had more faith in Hangman than he
deserved.
Not deserved, but like he showed, right? Like his armor wasn't ready for that. Like he was still working in like bronze armor, and they were expecting fucking silver and gold. But I don't know. I think not only is that good storytelling though, because like he could earn that eventually in the long run. Tonight was definitely not it. Exactly. But I mean, we could on everything tonight and say, where do we go from here?
I mean, the show was great. The matches were great, but yes, going forward, it just feels
it
like
was fantastic, but there was not enough storytelling to be like, yo, let's tune in the Dynamite.
You sit in there and you watch the show, you're going to be happy with the show you saw, but it's like one of those things when you see a movie after it, it's like, okay, now what was the purpose?
Exactly. It feels like, where do we go from here in every single scenario except for FTR showing up?
Yeah.
Maybe Ruby turning ? I still don't believe that she's fully on board with the rest of them, but like everything else, where do you go from here? Ricky Starks, Jericho, is that done?
I hope
is
so.
the Jungle Boy Christian. That's got to be
That
done.
was got to be
That
done.
was horrible, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I was actually texting with Matt during it, but the last few minutes of that match seemed totally fake. Like
It was garbage. No, and no, I don't want to see Luchasaurus, but where was Luchasaurus? Like, where's
Yeah.
the?
and he was backstage. I read he was there.
Well,
They
there
just
you
didn't
go.
use him.
But
But like
who cares?
those
Like-
those moves look like something you would see out of just a guys who are just learning how to wrestle. It didn't look real at all. It wasn't convincing to me. It's like this is complete
Christian's a
garbage.
t-shirt wrestler, man. It's the worst take of the night.
Excuse me, he is a turtleneck wrestler, please. Thank you.
Who
That's
let
a
these
step
fucking
below
marks
it.
in here? Yeah.
That's a step below.
The
But,
turtleneck was like chef's
I mean,
kiss
that's
on a,
if
on
you
a heel
you are
move.
one of the guys at the hotel with the wrestlers, and he dresses the same as if he's at the bar. He's just like looking at you like, "Don't look
Love
at
it.
me, Mark."
I love it.
Like,
I love
it's so true.
I don't want to do anything with these marks. But it was really, I don't know. It was okay. MJF is eating pickles at the scrum. There's definitely some fuckery going on. Absolutely some fuckery going on. And Tom, I know you've been saying it, but I said it the day of. This is all going to turn out into an elaborate, big hugging storyline.
Yeah. You said the kid he threw water out looked thirsty. I love it. And as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go watch that scrum because those scrums are
Probably the
certainly
best part of the night.
certainly more entertaining than what we watch on those WWE press conferences at the end of their pay-per-views.
I hope he's eating Mindy's pickles.
Mindy.
That's funny.
So,
I mean,
the
this
last
makes me
time-
think CM Punk is gonna be back.
The last time I was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, I went out to dinner at I can't remember the name of the restaurant now, but we got into the Uber and I turned around, like closed the door, and I looked to my right, and there I am staring right at Mindy's, and I was like, I don't know if I texted Tom right away. I texted somebody
texted
being
me.
like, I'm staring at Mindy's right now.
I need muffins. I need fucking muffins.
It was like 11 o'clock at night, so they weren't even open. But
Then
I
he got
still
super
had,
violent all of a sudden. You called your boss. You told me he's an asshole for booking you with a bunch of pricks.
Yeah, my boss
You're
was sitting
tired.
in the Uber with me, which was even better.
He's sitting right next to you drinking water as you told him you work with children.
It's
Oh,
just
man.
that Mindy's effect. Chicago's got away with people. No, I don't know, man. I feel a storm a coming, and AEW can't be doing as mid as they are right now without
This-
something huge coming.
This Dynamite feels super, super important to me. Like,
100%.
This to me is now is your time to plant your flag, turn things around, and make a big statement. And I hate comparing the two. I hate getting on an AEW show and talking about WWE and vice versa. But here we are a month away from WrestleMania, and you have to make a statement if you're
Yeah.
Tony Khan on this Wednesday.
Well, that's the thing. Double or Nothing's more the WrestleMania than Revolution is. So we at least got that
but
breather.
But that's fine. I mean, you're building
100%, yeah.
You're building towards that. But
Yeah.
here we are where wrestling fans, the casual wrestling fan is starting to turn back up again. And here's the time where you got to put out a banger of an episode on
Big
a
as
Wednesday
shit.
on a
Yeah.
Wednesday night to make people, even if they're just casually turning in on a Wednesday night after a pay-per-view, you have to hit a home run.
I'm not
that's
down
explain-
on AEW, but I totally agree with Matt. We have to make this a big ass fucking show because we are leading into Double or Nothing. We are getting hot as fuck. This needs to be the biggest goddamn show ever.
I am not down by any means. And I am not disappointed that I spent my money on this pay-per-view. But in the same breath, like you are at a turning point with the storylines. We came out of this show where you put bows on everything. And now here we are where the only bow that's still left to be tied is the FTR and Ass Boys feud.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's left. And it's a new beginning for everything else. And
Yeah, that was our biggest, like the show. But not saying the show is not a banger show. It was an amazing show. It's just we feel like, okay, there was nothing set up to go to the future, and that's where we're saying they have to set up on Wednesday night to show us, okay, where we're going now. Because we, like I said, we have no idea who's going where other than FTR.
And that's part of the beauty and part of the intrigue of having a pay-per-view where the story's finished. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing by any means.
It's
and
exciting
I'm not
to
down on
Dynamite.
it. And we're sitting here looking forward to the next card, the next Wednesday, because we don't know where it's going. Because nothing was set up.
And it's fun. And you know what I hope more than ever, which AEW doesn't do? Don't announce everything for the show. Leave us hanging. Announce
of course.
a couple little things.
Yeah.
Leave us hanging. You don't have to announce the whole card before the show.
You've got Hobbs and Wardlow.
Yeah,
and
we know that.
You can carry that being the main event and sprinkle in everything else.
Hobbs, and I'm all for Hobbs winning. I think too, Chad and Sneed's point here, Chad or Sneed's, I don't know who's commenting, and Matt's point. I think it wasn't a stick at the diehard fans. I think we just are clamoring for a little bit more, and I think we're going to get more. I thought it was a great pay-per-view. I thought everything was fantastic, but we have so many dead ends here that, like, where are we going? Like, what do the Bucks do now that, Malachi and the House of Black are trios? Like, we need so much more to fill that out.
And this is a good thing because
it's
true,
a great
right?
thing.
So AEW is fan service, right? Like that's the stigma they have, and it followed suit here. You've got Ricky Starks beating Jericho, that's fan service. You've got Jungle Boy defeating Christian Cage, cool. House of Black finally waving that flag. I mean, we've been clamoring 100%. For that forever.
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter is another fan favorite. Hangman is supposed to be the fan favorite, right? Even though Mox is the guy, but he deserves the break. Wardlow is supposed to be a fan favorite going in against, going into Wednesday, and then FTR comes back, and the only one where the fan service was, or the match ends in a fan service, the match ends without giving you the fan favorite victory there, right?
Yeah. I agree exactly with Chad said here, and I think this is how we all feel. It's very intriguing coming out of this because we don't know what's coming on, and that makes me look forward to Dynamite even more because I want to see what's newly set up, and I think that's fun. I think it's awesome that we get this reset now 100%. And not have any angles going into Wednesday. Give us a shock and bang, a Dynamite. Like, let us set up some new stories.
That's why Wednesday feels so important because you are so open-ended and you have the ability to set the tone moving forward.
Yeah. Also, we have Ring of Honor back, so a lot of that's going to be taken away from the AEW product this week. We're not used to that, so we get a lot to not overcome, but go through. As fans in the next couple weeks of like, I think it's going to be pull from everything. Yeah,
we're going to you see Samoa Joe depart over to Ring of Honor. There's a bunch of other guys, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. Like, who knows? This Dynamite is going to be a shot. Like, it's going to be great to turn into to see what they're laying the groundwork for the next few months.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I don't think they'll let us down at all. So I think it's great. A great show tonight. It's fun to have this reset right now. Like, it's fun that we have no clue who MJF's next opponent's going to be. Like, who's going to come out? I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
I got high hopes. But listen, the writing's on the wall. If FTR came back and they're clamoring, as Tom so lovely likes to say, on Dex's podcast, they're going back to WWE, man. They're doing it. They're going back hardcore. And here we are.
I love it. I'm
here for it, man.
I love that he worked the people listening to that podcast.
As he should. That's what
100%.
I hope he stops podcasting once he becomes the trio champ.
I said this. Work me all day long and get me to fall for something.
You have to.
I think it makes things better.
Yeah.
I think it makes things better when they can actually work me in a way.
I think it makes it best when Mike has to do a Tom impression. That's my
favorite. My goodness, what are you talking about?
Matt, do you have to encourage him?
Yes, I will encourage him forever.
Yeah, always. You have to. Oh my goodness, let's do it. We're doing great.
Let's take a stop at Staten Island, baby.
Staten Island, baby.
I was there today. I was in Manhattan, Staten Island, and then home.
I
So
love it.
Like the good old Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
so
Oh,
oh
could
my
you
God.
imagine if Tom was the fourth member of the Beastie Boys? Because you can't, you won't, you don't stop.
Oh man,
best.
Mike,
The
any
best.
other thoughts on the show before we close it out here tonight?
Listen, I thought it was a fantastic show. I'm happy with everything.
No
I know
doubt.
all of my dreams came true with my card results, except for the women's match, but I knew something was going to happen. We are looking forward to a very good Dynamite, a very few couple weeks of Dynamites leading into Double or Nothing. They announced Double or Nothing tonight like it was going to be a huge fucking deal.
Oh yeah,
And
I love it.
I mean, how can you not want to be a part of that? I know it's going to be great. I know we're expecting amazing, amazing stuff in the next coming weeks. Can't wait. But I hope there's no Wardlow, Samoa Joe fuckery going on in between. I want a pure build up to Double or Nothing. I want the best of the best for everybody. And I might be going to WrestleMania. I don't know.
Look at Matt's face when you say that.
I'm just saying. No promises, but I might be going to WrestleMania for shits and giggles this year.
If you are in the stadium, you're only allowed to talk in Tom voice.
I'm
That's it.
gonna be there. I'll be like, oh my God, look at Roman Reigns. He's the tribal chief. He's so sexy. I can't wait.
That's Seth. You got to talk like Seth.
Can't wait for Logan Paul to come out. He's the best.
Oh.
And I hope Johnny Knoxville, my number one favorite superstar, is out here.
God, I'm gonna mute you in a second.
Don't not expect it. I will absolutely happily take video of me in the row 504 going, look at this, it's the tribal chief is winning the championship again with Bob.
Hey, listen, I'm rooting for Cody Rhodes. All right,
You should be, but I just Kenny Omega's coming back. It's gonna be great.
Kenny Omega's not going to WWE. Let's stop that talk.
Well,
right
I mean,
now.
2 days ago, you were like FTR is going back to WWE.
I did think they were. He sold me on his podcast.
I told you, Tom.
You
Listen,
did. I gave you credit. I said
Tim,
100%.
Tim,
you did.
listen to your friend, good old Mike Belcaster.
You said it the whole
It's
time.
a work, I tell you.
It's a work. I tell you, Tony Khan has his
Every
pockets
day.
and his money and his money in his pockets. He's the best.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Tony Khan owns Mindy's. It's the whole
Tony
fucking review. Those muffins are his muffins. Damn it, and I'm here for it.
That's historical.
Uh,
Fun show tonight for the pay-per-view. We had a fun time wrapping it up here tonight. Thank you for jumping on, Matt. Your new microphone sounds amazing. So good job
always
picking
sounds
up the
amazing.
shore. What?
He always sounds amazing.
He does, but it's that golden voice of his is just a little
Ooh.
more crisp with that.
That little
microphone.
Bob's Burgers ASMR. It's the best, right?
So, any closing thoughts, guys, who are tuning in that don't normally turn in? TheTurnbuckleTavern.com. Follow us everywhere you possibly can. All of our social media links are there. Follow, like, subscribe, listen on our podcast, watch our streams. We appreciate you. Also, the Extra Cooler Show. I just got rid of our background. Matt, tell them, plug the Extra Cooler Show real quick.
Ooh, all right. We are coming up on WrestleMania season for the Extra Cooler Show. Come check us out. We will be going through our top 5 WrestleMania matches this upcoming Thursday. Man, I can't wait for it. And then we are going into our yearly 2-episode special covering a Mania a Mania event. We are doing WrestleMania 8 this season. I am super excited for that one. Should be a lot of fun. Cheers, fellas. Thanks for allowing me to come on.
No, dude,
my
we
soul.
love having you here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike, guys. I hope you enjoyed the pay-per-view as much as we did. Do not forget to tune into Dynamite this week. It's gonna be laying the groundwork for the next few months.
It better be.
Hopefully.
At
least until next week.
at least until next week. But until Wednesday night when we return with the wrap-up show after Dynamite. From Mike, from Matt, it's Tom. Love, peace, and pro wrestling.